Welcome to Fireside Chats, where there is no fire and no side. Scrap that. This is just a very cozy atmosphere today because the rain is coming down outside and I have Christmas lights all strung up, unfortunately. Not behind me, but we'll work on that. So, today is a very exciting day. Do you know why? It is because today I am going to be talking about some stories in Disneyland that happened to me. So let's get started. Oh, all of these views are mine. None of them are Disney's. Psych. The first story is actually about the worst customer experience I had there. Let us dive in. So this couple came in. It was this man and his, I don't know, I was thinking she was either his wife or his girlfriend. And they had a kid with them. And he came up and he was like, so we would like a whole pizza and we would like it cut into 14 parts and we want it to be half cheese and half pepperoni. Now, this isn't a problem, except that for some reason, Disney cannot cut a pizza like directly. Okay, this is an explanation. Disney cannot make a pizza and put half ingredients on one side, half on another, and send it through the oven. Don't know why, but they just can't. Because, I mean, you know, policies. So anyway, every time I was required to explain to customers that what Disney did was they would
bake a pizza, bake another pizza, and then put them together. But the thing was, they would cut it in half. They would cut it in like this weird like 60-40 pattern. And because that's the way the slices were ordered. There were 7 slices.
Yeah.
And then they would double cut it on top of that. So when you finally get your pizza, it's a pizza that was previously 2 other pizzas shoved together, and 60% of it is one thing, and 40% of it is whatever else you wanted. But then the slices are cut again. So you have your regular slices, and they're cut again. So you do have 14 slices, and you can cut it in half, or you can eat it in half, but your toppings are completely 50-50.
So I went through that really complicated explanation with this man. And the entire time, he was being very belligerent. And I wasn't sure if he was trying to show off for his girlfriend. Because you know how sometimes people are like, oh, like, I'm just gonna be like difficult and like funny because that's funny. Well, this was one of those times and one of those people. So he kept saying something like, oh, but it'll be in half because there's 14 slices. So like 7 slices each side. And I finally was just like, okay, let it go, let him be the way he wants to be. And his wife was just kind of standing there like a little bit uncomfortably, but not like anything was like really amiss. And I was just like, okay, maybe he's trying to be funny. I was like, okay, yes, I will get you your pizza with pepperoni and then the other, and I didn't say half with cheese, but I, you know. So I went back and I got it and everything was going fine. The pizza came out like 20 minutes later. I paged his buzzer. He came up. He started to grab the pizza and I said, oh sir, I'm sorry, I need to see your ticket first so that I can then give you the pizza, because Disney has this thing where the tickets have to be like crossed out with your fingernail because they're markable. You just do that, and then that way people can't come back in with their ticket and be like, hey, I never got my pizza. Because apparently people have done that before. So when the employee marks it through, it shows, they've come and they've already received it. He like looked at me for a second. His wife wasn't there. The little kid wasn't with him either. And he said, well, my wife just paid for it. Like, why do I have to go get the receipt? And I said, I'm sorry, it's just policy. You have to give us the receipt. And he was like, what, you think, are you calling her a liar? Yeah, he immediately jumped into like, are you calling her a liar? And I was like, at this point, I was like, okay, this is just one of those angry people that I have to deal with. And so I like put on my charming voice that just dripped with sweetness and innocence. And I said, oh, no, sir, nothing against your wife. All I need is just the ticket because it's just our company policy. And I said it like this, like I was kind of on his side, but I was really just like, just go get the ticket Anyway, so he turns around, mutters some expletives, and storms off. I was like, wow, okay. And my lead saw what was happening. And he came up and he was like, my lead as in like my kind of above manager, and he was like, okay, I got this. And I was like, all right, because I didn't want to deal with the guy. Now, I would have been fine dealing with the guy. I would have been like, oh, thank you, like, have a great day, have your pizza. Anyway, so the guy comes back with his 6-year-old and the receipt, looks around, and I had moved like almost to the other side of the counter, so I was pretty far away, and I noticed him coming up, but I didn't go up because I thought my lead was going to take care of it. So my lead rolls up because he's in a wheelchair, and the customer sees him, and so he's just kind of there, and he waits for like half a second, and then he starts to grab the box. And my lead like put his hand on the box like, oh, like, no, you can't just like barge off. And then the guy said something like, give me my bleep pizza, and he like grabs the box. And so then my lead proceeds to also grab the box, and so they have this like mini tug of war in the whole store. This is going on, and then my lead lets go thinking that the guy will fall backwards, but he doesn't. And so then there's angry, heated words exchanged, and my lead wheels around the counter, and the guy was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't know you were in a wheelchair. And my lead was like, why would that be a problem? Why would that matter? And so it was just very, so then we called security, and the guy ran off. And I can't remember if he ran off with the pizza. Yeah. I think he took the pizza and he ran off. And the whole time this was happening, his little 6-year-old girl was like standing there with like her hands over her mouth, with like super wide-eyed, and I felt so bad for her because she was like clearly very scared. But yeah, that was the worst customer experience that I ever witnessed there.